Hey Kate, is your shift over yet? It's already 4 in the afternoon. Hurry back and start on the housework.
Sorry, Beth. I ended up having to do some overtime today. I need to go to the supermarket to pick up some things and then I'll head home.
You're going to be even later?
I guess so. I need to buy ingredients for dinner tonight.
You really can't do anything right, can you? Just make something from whatever is left at home.
Didn't you say that you wanted fish for dinner tonight? We don't have any at home.
That was yesterday. I don't feel like fish anymore.
Oh, is that so? Well, we still need some basic things like milk, so I'd better still stop by.
Fine. But hurry it up. I've left you half of the housework for you to do. Also, don't forget to finish doing the laundry. Oh, and the bathroom still needs cleaning too.
Okay, I got it.
I loaded the washing machine for you, even though that's supposed to be your job.
Sorry about that. Thanks for doing it for me.
I really thought you were someone who would have a better handle on things. Otherwise, I wouldn't have agreed with you working part-time. If you're going to leave housework for me, I'll forbid you from working.
I'll be careful from now on. I'll make sure to finish all the cleaning before I leave for work.
Remember that you're only living here because you're married to my son. Making sure to do things ahead of time. If I need to tell you off for something, then it's already too late.
Okay, I understand.
Also, I've been thinking about something recently. Don't you think the clothes you've been wearing out are a bit too extreme? They stand out too much.
What do you mean by that? They're just normal clothes you'd find or see anywhere.
You were wearing a skirt the other day. When you were going out somewhere with my son. You know, the frilly one.
Oh, that one. Yeah, I remember.
What are you doing wearing something that's going to get attention from other men? You're a married woman. You shouldn't be wearing things that show so much of your legs.
But that skirt goes down past my knees.
It doesn't matter if it was past your knees, your legs were still showing, weren't they? And the shade of light pink, how vulgar. I didn't really think about it like that.
I apologize, I'll be more careful.
You need to make yourself look more like a proper woman now that you're married. The same goes for your hair and makeup. You look like you're going to work at a strip club.
That's going too far, you know?
If you don't want to be thought of in that way, then wear more appropriate clothes. You shouldn't even bother with makeup anymore. It's not like anyone is looking at you anyway.
The clothes I wear are nothing like that. They're not anywhere near as revealing or outlandish.
That's not the point that I'm trying to make. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Every time I talk to you, the conversation ends up in some weird place.
Sorry.
Stop stressing me out so much. Just hurry back and finish the housework. Hey, when are you two coming back home?
My husband and I only left the house not too long ago. We'll probably be back quite late tonight. It's the weekend, so we'll be out for dinner too.
Come back right now.
Why do we need to come back?
Something terrible has happened to my daughter.
What's happened to Jessie?
Jessie is being abused by her in-laws.
By her in-laws, you say? Well, that's worrying to hear.
She says that from morning to night her mother-in-law harasses her. She's even making her look at the entire household on her own. They don't even treat her as a member of the family. The entire family went on a trip and left her at home by herself. She couldn't handle it anymore, so she just called me before to discuss it and ask for help.
I see. It sounds like she's in a pretty bad situation.
I wanted to call her mother-in-law and give her a piece of my mind, but Jessie told me that it wasn't necessary. I wonder what I should do.
Well, any situation with in-laws is pretty delicate. You don't want to make anything worse for her. It's probably better to just not do anything at all.
But I can't just sit here and keep my mouth shut. She's there all alone with people who don't treat her right. Apparently, the mother-in-law even called her a completely useless wife. Can you believe it? After all the hard work I put in raising my daughter, and she gets called that?
Is that so?
So you guys will come back now, right? I think this is something that we all need to talk about. Can you tell my son about his sister's situation too?
I've been telling him about it as we've been talking.
But Jessie isn't at our house right now, is she?
She's not, but so what?
Well, she can't really do anything about this then, even if we do come back now.
So, we're still going out as planned and we'll come back later.
What? He doesn't care about his little sister? Kate, you're also living with your in-laws just like her, so you do understand, don't you?
I sure can.
I knew you would. See? It's at times like this that men are completely useless. Jessie says her husband is pretending not to notice anything is going on.
It must be really hard if she isn't getting any support from him or anyone else.
And Jessie is such an outstanding girl. I wonder what it is that her in-laws find irritating about her. I'd be nothing but grateful if I have a daughter-in-law like Jessie.
Well, the thing there is, you are Jessie's biological mother after all.
And so what? Are you trying to say there's something wrong with her?
No, not at all. But if you think about it, she is still the daughter-in-law to this scenario. So you can never guess how her mother-in-law would view her. Of course, I don't have any kids of my own, so there's probably something I don't quite understand.
If you don't understand, then just don't say anything at all. But aren't you lucky that you have someone like me as your mother-in-law? You can do whatever you want, and I even let you and my son go out together on the weekends. Poor Jessie, she got really unlucky with her mother-in-law. Do you think it's better for me to pick her up and bring her back to our house?
Jessie's feelings and what she wants to do are still the most important thing here. You should contact her and see what she wants to do before you go get her.
You're right, she can only really rely on us. I need to make sure I don't act too rash and make things worse. But this really does annoy me. What kind of person would harass their daughter-in-law like that?
That's true. I completely agree with you there.
Okay, I'm going to give Jessie another call. She must be pretty down in the dumps right now, so I'll do my best to find a way to convince her to come stay with us.
Okay, got it.
And make sure to support her when she does come to stay, okay? I want her to be able to relax and recover without having to worry about doing anything. Even if she offers to help herself, make sure you don't let her do anything. Got it?
I got it. Hey, can you just confirm something real quick? So you think that if a mother-in-law is harassing her daughter-in-law, then that's a situation to get out of as soon as possible, right?
Obviously. Look, I get that sometimes living with other people can be difficult, but that's not reason to resort to abuse and harassment.
Okay, thanks. I just wanted to make sure. I'll take your words to heart. Good morning, Kate. Oh, Jessie, morning. What's up? So you're at your parents' house right now, right? Yep, I am. I had heard that you moved out. Is that because I moved back in? I'm really sorry. You're living together with your husband, but I moved back. I must really be in the way. It can't be very comfortable for you with me here. Oh, no, that's not the case at all. It's not? Then why did you leave? My mom was also super surprised that you decided to pack up and leave out of nowhere. I ran away from an abusive mother-in-law just like you did. We're in the same situation. Don't worry, it wasn't your fault. An abusive mother-in-law? You're talking about my mom right now, aren't you? Yes. It's hard to talk about it since she's your mother, but I reached my limit with her. When she was telling me about your situation with your mother-in-law, she even expressed her disgust with someone who would harass the daughter-in-law like that for no reason. The whole time, I couldn't help but think how ironic it was, seeing as she was doing the exact same thing. I discussed it with my husband and decided to move out. I'm sorry you got the wrong idea, but it really had nothing to do with you. So that's what happened. And my mom was so angry at my own mother-in-law, talking bad about her constantly. To think that she was doing the same things that she was criticizing. That's why I don't plan on going back and living with her. But don't worry about it. She treats you well. So you can stay there until things quiet down on your end. I can't take it easy though. If my own mother is harassing you, what kind of things was she doing to you? I know that you probably don't want to talk about it too much, but please let me know. I don't think you really want to hear it though. No, it's totally okay. Please. Well, it'll be a pretty long conversation, so how about I give you a call instead? That's fine by me. Mom isn't home right now either, so please tell me everything you can.
Kate, what on earth did you do? Why did you tell those lies to my daughter?
What are you talking about? I have no idea what you mean.
You told her that I was bullying you?
I did?
So you admit it. Why would you do something like that? Jessie is back home living with us because of exactly that reason. Don't you have any consideration for those around you? And you told her that I'm the reason you left and went back to live with your parents?
Of course I did. That's the truth. I also couldn't stand being harassed by the mother-in-law anymore and left, just like Jessie. But that was the best thing to do, right? You also said that it's not something to put up with, remember?
I was talking about Jessie at that time. It had nothing to do with you.
A conversation about terrible mother-in-law definitely has something to do with me. I had to listen to your complaints and grumbling every single day.
Complaints from me? Like what? I never did anything like that.
Even though we were living in the same house, you left all of the housework up to me. Isn't that exactly the same as what Jessie had to do?
I was doing the housework too.
Do you really think that taking some clothes out of the dryer every now and then really counts as a housework?
That's not all I did. I cooked too.
You kept throwing away all of the food that I cooked. You'd say it was disgusting and dump all kinds of spices on it before throwing it into the trash. That doesn't sound like cooking to me.
I helped with cleaning though.
But you would only ever clean your own room. Apart from that, you left me to clean the rest of the entire house. Waking up early in the morning to clean the bathrooms, vacuum the house, clean everything else before work, I had to do that. But what did you do? You started complaining that the vacuum was too noisy and affecting your sleep in the morning. So then I could only do that on days I didn't have work. And let's not forget doing the laundry, making food for everyone, and washing the dishes before leaving. So what is it that you're trying to say you helped out with?
A daughter-in-law living in her husband's house is supposed to do all the housework. That's an obvious fact.
I bet Jessie's mother-in-law thinks the exact same thing. Aren't you acting just like her?
I don't act like you're some stranger. I treat you as part of the family.
Remember that time you went on vacation with some friends? When you came back, I was the only one you didn't buy a souvenir for.
Well, I just happened to forget at that time.
Even when you go out for a little bit and come back with some snacks or something, you always seem to forget me then too. Like a few days ago when you bought everyone cake except me. What was all that about then?
Those things are always just for my husband and son who are always working so hard.
Just sounds like an excuse to me. You even called me useless before too. And the last time we went on a family vacation, you were the only one complaining that I was coming too. Everything is exactly the same as what happened to Jessie.
I'm not doing anything from ill will. It's not buying or anything like that with Jessie's mother-in-law was doing.
If that's the case, then why did you never say or do the sort of thing in front of your husband or son? It's always only when we're alone or through text messages.
Is that really what happened?
That's exactly what happened. Have you just happened to forget only the bad things that you did? But don't worry too much. I told my husband about it all, and I showed him all the text conversations between us.
What? You told my son all that too?
Of course I did. He's my husband.
He hasn't said anything or told me off for anything I may have done to you.
That's because I asked him not to say anything to you. We were all living together, so I wanted to try my best and get along with you as well as I possibly could. But when you started complaining about what was happening to Jessie, I woke up. I realized that there really is such a thing as wasted effort and time. You raised yourself on a pedestal and started criticizing Jessie's mother-in-law for what she was doing. That was the time I realized that I couldn't take it anymore.
Kate, listen to me. I honestly wasn't trying to do anything of that on purpose. I just wanted you to be a good wife, so I was trying to give you some advice to help.
As I said, Jessie's mother-in-law probably thought the same thing too. What I'm trying to say is that you're in no position to criticize anybody. You need to look at yourself in the mirror and sort yourself out first.
I'm sorry. I apologize for everything I've done up until now. So won't you come back and live with us again?
No. There's no way I'm living with you again. You were the one who asked me to come and move in with you in the first place. I don't need any more needless suffering that I can easily avoid.
Okay, I got it. I won't mention you moving back in again. But can you at least forgive me? My husband and daughter really went off at me for what I did. They even told me to get out of the house.
What goes around comes around, right?
But I've realized that what I was doing was wrong. I promise to be a good mother-in-law to you from now on. So please, can you forgive me somehow?
Is that something you'd say in front of your daughter? Could you ask her to forgive her mother-in-law for what she put her through?
I really think the degree of what we did is different.
Oh, if you're still able to say something like that, that means you haven't changed at all. I've got no reason to come to your aid. After that, my mother-in-law was brought to my house by her husband and daughter in order to apologize to me. Of course I didn't forgive her, but she promised to leave me alone and not talk to me except for important family occasions. And I told them that kicking her out of the house wasn't something that I wanted to happen. She got a good talking to from her husband and her daughter, so I'm sure the same thing won't happen again. After her actions were revealed to everyone, my mother-in-law really changed. She started to do all of the housework that I had previously done on her own. It might have been better for me to say something sooner. But since it was my husband's family home, I didn't really want to rock the boat and make a big fuss. In a way, I'm also partially to blame for putting up with it for no reason. In any case, I have no intention of protecting her feelings anymore. For example, even if we meet face to face, I'm not going to pretend or do anything for her sake. Jessie also moved out from her husband's house in the same way I did. We met up and talked about how happy we were that we both chose the right path for us. Both her and her father really helped me by taking my side against my mother-in-law, so I have nothing but feelings of gratitude towards them. From now on, I'm going to put all my effort into relationships with people who really care about me and treat me right. Simon, is now a good time? There's something I need to talk to you about.
Hey, what's up? If you think it's something I can help with, then I'm happy to talk.
It's about Oliver.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kate. I'm not really supposed to discuss school matters privately. I know we might be childhood friends, but I could get in trouble if people knew we were discussing that kind of thing outside of the official channels. Who's to say how the other moms might react?
I understand. I'm really sorry about this, and I hate to trouble you. But before I call the school, I thought it might be best to talk to you first, since you are his teacher and all. I know it's not normally how things are done, but please, can you make an exception just this once?
Okay, Kate, but I mean it. I really can only do this once. So what's up?
So here's the thing. Oliver recently started saying he doesn't want to go to school anymore. I've asked him so many times, but he won't tell me why.
Huh? By any chance, is that why he's been absent the last 2 days? I'm sorry. I heard you call in reporting it as an illness. Oh, I just thought he was a little under the weather.
Look, there's no kid that age who doesn't feel like taking the day off every now and then, right? So, to be totally honest with you, I did let him have one day off. But then he said he didn't want to go today either, and now he's refusing to go tomorrow too. He won't listen to anything I say. I asked him if he's having some kind of problem at school, but he won't tell me anything at all.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kate. I really thought I had a good idea of the situation in class. But based on what you told me, it sounds like there might be something going on that I don't know about.
I see. Would you mind keeping a closer eye on him for the time being? I'm so sorry to trouble you like this.
It's fine, don't sweat it. Here's what I'll do. I'll speak to some of Oliver's friends about this and see if I can find out what's going on. Don't worry, we'll get to the bottom of this. I'll contact you as soon as I know anything. Don't let this get you down, okay? Let's just see how things play out and take it from there. If you pry too much when he already feels down, I think there's a chance it might make him hate school even more. And then he'll never end up coming back.
You're right. Got it. Thank you. Oh, by the way, if it seems like this is gonna drag on any longer, I'll go through the proper channels and contact the school next time. I assume they'll speak to you about it in that case, so I can only apologize in advance for any inconvenience. But you're right. For the time being, let's just see what we can find out. Thanks, Simon.
Kate, I haven't heard from you in a while. Is everything okay? If so, look, we've already crossed the Rubicon, so we might as well at least get to the bottom of what's going on with Oliver. Don't worry, okay? I want Oliver back in class more than anyone. Which is why I want you to know you can talk to me if you're still having problems. I want to help you.
Oh, sorry. I've been so busy I forgot to reply.
Huh? What the hell are you playing at? Your kid's skipping school and you're too busy to reply to me? I didn't know you were that kind of person.
That's funny. I was just about to say the same thing about you. Because I had no idea you'd do something like this.
Wait a second. Why are you getting mad at me all of a sudden? What did I do?
You told me the other day about why Oliver didn't want to go to school anymore, didn't you? Because he fell out with his friends and felt isolated?
Yeah, well, I mean, this kind of thing happens all the time. I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen it. But you know, his friends said they feel bad and want to apologize. Everyone's waiting for him to come back. They even said they were going to go over to your house and try encouraging him to come back.
Yes, and they did, very kindly. But that's not the truth, is it? Because you're the one who turned him into a social pariah in class, aren't you?
Me? I'm his teacher! What the hell are you saying? You really think I'd do that to one of my own students?
Listen to me. All I'm doing is telling the truth.
The truth? Give me a break. You can't seriously be claiming. Do you think there are still teachers around who do that kind of thing? Even elementary school kids have smartphones at this day and age. Our conduct has to be flawless at all times. One wrong move, and suddenly the whole world would be talking about it on social media. Can you just calm down and think about what you're saying?
You're right. It really would be unbelievable if there was a teacher acting like that in this day and age. But believe me, I am calm. I am messaging you from a place of calmness.
No way. How could you say that? We're childhood friends, damn it! Kate, what reason could I possibly have for wanting to turn your son into the class loner?
Oh, I can think of a reason. Because you wanted to take revenge on me for turning down your marriage proposal. Because I married the guy you hated instead.
Wow, that? Seriously? Listen to me carefully. I couldn't give 1/10 of a heck about what happened back then. It was over 10 years ago. It's all water under the bridge to me now. Do you really think I still have feelings for you after all this time? I'm over you.
I didn't think so before all this, at least. That's why I gave you my phone number when I moved back to our hometown. But it would appear I made a huge mistake.
How about you calm down and stop flattering yourself? You're a worn-out old hag with a kid, for God's sakes. Who would want anything to do with you? Stop fantasizing. And what the hell does me falling out with your husband have to do with anything? Stop coming up with weird excuses to justify your lunatic behavior and start taking your meds. You're creeping me out.
Your dad's a good-for-nothing high school dropout. Your genes are worth less than dirt, and you'll never amount to anything, you miserable little worm. If you dare tell your mom about anything I say to you, you're both gonna need to start looking over your shoulders. Did I miss anything? That's what you said to Oliver in class, isn't it? Not only that, but you banned all of his classmates from speaking to him. What do you think you're doing? Are you seriously trying to take revenge on me through my son? Is this really what kind of person you are?
Wow. Just wow. I'm speechless. This is beyond ridiculous. This is just some pile of baloney you heard from Oliver. Kids are masterful liars. It comes as naturally to them as breathing. Surely you as a mother would know that. Could you please not try and turn me into some kind of monster without having a shred of evidence to back it up? You're tapped in the head. You seemed a lot wiser and more reasonable back when we were kids. Kind of disappointing seeing how you turned out.
It is exactly because I'm a mother that I know he's telling the truth. If I didn't believe my own son, what would that make me? Do you have any idea how much it hurt him to be told such horrible things? By his own school teacher? You call yourself a teacher.
God, what is it with that question? It's like some kind of freaking slogan for angry moms. I'm sick of hearing it already. Yes, actually, I do call myself a teacher. Now, I'm gonna tell you something. Make sure you remember it. Being a teacher means I spend more time with the kids throughout the year than their own parents, which is why I need you to start treating what I say with a little bit more credibility. I mean, really, you're gonna believe the word of some lying kid over a highly respected adult? Come on, which is it gonna be? Who do you believe?
I believe my son!
I see. Okay, Mommy, let me ask you a question. Where's the proof? Hold on, let's see it. If you're gonna accuse me of saying all this stuff to Oliver, then you must have proof.
I have no way of proving what you said to Oliver.
Okay, then this conversation is over. If you refuse to cease and desist, I'll report you to the school for harassment.
This conversation is not over. I might not be able to prove that you said anything to Oliver, but I can prove that you banned everyone else in the class from speaking to him.
I gotta be honest, you're really bugging me now. I have no idea what kind of proof you think you have. But if you want to report me to the school, then go right ahead. Do whatever you like.
Okay, I will. That's exactly what I'll do.
This is the perfect opportunity to tell you. So get this. Even if, for argument's sake, I did do something, you should know that I have friends in high places who will be there to protect me if I need it.
Friends in high places? A teacher? Who would protect you?
My uncle. He's on the Board of Education. And if anything happens to me, he'll have my back. To put it bluntly.
So that's why you think you got free reign to do whatever you want, huh? Suddenly, everything makes sense. If that's how you want to play this, I have a little something of my own to tell you.
Huh?
It really is a coincidence about my father-in-law, don't you think?
Your father-in-law?
My husband's dad is the superintendent of the Board of Education. It would be extremely foolish of you to believe you're invincible just because your uncle happens to be a board member.
Really? By the way, about that proof.
Hmm?
You just said you had proof?
Oh, what's this? You seem to have changed your tune. Didn't you just tell me to do what I wanted?
Quit harping on and show me the proof already! You need to understand that you don't have a hope in hell of taking me down based on the word of a few brats alone. If that's all you have, it's more than possible they could cook up some story together to try to get me fired. That kind of thing does happen, you know.
The proof is the recording of you threatening your students. Remember? You said it yourself after all, about how even elementary school kids have smartphones in this day and age.
Recording? Cell phones are forbidden in class! They're to be kept in lockers and used only at break time! I don't believe you! All students know they'll be severely reprimanded if they're caught with their phones in class. We have a very strong system of deterrence in place.
Duh, I know that. Who doesn't? Do you seriously not know that kids hide them in their pockets and sneak them into class despite having been a teacher all these years? Besides, since when did the threat of the teacher getting angry ever stop kids from breaking the rules? Most importantly, he did it to help out a friend in need.
Who was it? Who recorded me? I want a name now!
Like hell I'm telling you anything!
Shut up and give me a name! Now!
Even if you knew their name, it wouldn't protect you from what's coming. Have you even thought this through? The teacher who bullies and intimidates his own students versus the students who break the rules to protect their friend? How do you think this ends? You don't need to be a genius to figure it out. In any case, even if you don't understand, you will soon. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have nothing more to say to you. Never contact me again.
You're not going anywhere! Don't try to run away from me! I said I wanted a name! Who recorded me? You will pay for this insolence! You all will! Kate, I think I owe you an apology over what happened with Oliver. I'm truly sorry. The way things are going, it's looking like I might not be a teacher for much longer. I abused my position due to personal grievance, which is absolutely unacceptable and should never have happened. I've reflected on what I did, and I'm truly sorry. So please, will you find it in your heart to forgive me for what I did to Oliver? And Oliver himself? If he forgives me, I might still be in with a shot of salvaging things at work. Please, will you give me a chance to apologize to him in person?
I told you never to contact me again, didn't I? I'll be letting the school know you contacted me directly and not through your lawyer like you were supposed to. I will never forgive you for bullying, victimizing, intimidating, and threatening my son. A person like you should never have been allowed to become a teacher in the first place. I'll make sure you never get a chance to see Oliver again.
Please. I did this for a reason. I really did love you, Kate. Which is why I was so shocked and hurt when I found out you were marrying that high school dropout. I always thought I'd be the one to marry you. I could have made you so much happier. But then when I got down on one knee and you turned me down, my world fell apart.
Yes, Simon. I know.
You do? You finally understand? In that case, maybe you and me can finally give it a shot. I've been waiting all my life for this moment. Will you be mine, Kate?
No. I mean, I know what a despicable, hopeless waste of space you are. Did you really think I was going to say yes to your proposal? We never even dated. Never contact me again. You disgust me.
What? You got some nerve. This was all your fault to begin with.
What?
If you weren't in my life to begin with, none of this would have ever happened. I would have never developed feelings for you. I never would have proposed to you. And now this. I wouldn't be in this mess either. If you didn't exist, your son wouldn't have just happened to be a student at the school I teach at. I mean, I'm his form teacher? Is this some big cosmic joke? It was bad enough that you rejected me without having to see your husband's offspring set staring at me every day. It couldn't be more humiliating. Why can't you understand how I feel?
So you're saying this is all my fault? Good. Your absolute lack of remorse only strengthens my resolve to do what I have to do. Mark my words, you will be dealt with. There is no place for someone so deranged and bitter that they drag their personal affairs into their professional life to the extent of damaging their own students' mental health. If you're so desperate for someone to pull you out of the hole you dug, they're gonna need the mother of all shovels, and you're wasting your time with me. Oh, I know. Your uncle's on the Board of Education, isn't he? Try asking him. Oliver became incredibly emotionally unstable after Simon said all that awful stuff to him. One of his classmates noticed that his mood seemed to drop every time the teacher went over to speak to him. He was so concerned that his mom called me after school to discuss the situation. She said she thought there was a possibility that Mr. Pierce, aka Simon, was harassing him. What's more, apparently my son wasn't the only student he threatened. Oliver's friends, too, were told that if they told their parents about how they weren't allowed to speak to him, he'd ban everyone from speaking to them, too. After finding out the truth, me and the other moms all joined forces. They were all so kind, and each tasked their children with paying close attention to the dynamics between Simon and Oliver in class, and report back to us with anything they noticed. Everyone soon became aware that something unpleasant was happening, but even still we found it difficult to take definite action for lack of concrete evidence. Which is why I was relieved to hear one of Oliver's friends was clever enough to record Simon threatening him. Even though they knew if they were found out, they'd end up in the same situation or worse. I was moved to tears by the level of kindness and bravery doing something like that must have taken. Oliver told me everything when I gave him the news that we'd been collecting evidence and were ready to present it to the school. I've never seen him look so relieved in my life. Then, we finally made our official report to the school and Board of Education. Simon's teaching license was revoked, and he was fired on the spot. By the way, you know how he said his uncle was a board member? It was actually true. But ironically, far from making everything disappear, as he'd naively expected, he was actually angrier than anyone and vehemently demanded he receive the most severe penalty. It just goes to show, you can't expect someone to have your back when you're in the wrong just because you happen to be related to them. That man is so deluded it's disturbing. With his former bully gone and things at school having calmed down, Oliver made his long-awaited comeback. He graduated with flying colors just this year. I can't deny I was a little anxious at the time about Simon trying to get his own back against my son somehow. I thought about moving house, changing schools, and all sorts of other potential solutions. But ultimately, Oliver was dead set on graduating alongside all of his friends, and I wanted to respect that. I did start dropping him off and picking him up from school by car every day just to be safe. But even still, I'm so happy he was able to graduate at the school he was used to with the friends he loved. I was showered with thanks by the teachers at the school, as well as members of a local crime prevention organization. The other day, Oliver came up to me and said, "Mom, 2 juices and 2 ice creams, please." After which, a beautiful young lady walked in. Oliver got a girlfriend! I found myself moved to tears yet again, this time while preparing juice and ice creams. I'd prefer if you guys didn't mention what a crybaby I am to anyone, though.